Ladies, do not ever date the ugly guy. I know, he's nice, he's funny, he is so into you, he's so much fun. Right now, he is. He has to be all of those things right now because he knows he's got a face for radio, so he better work on that charm.
Even though the man is doing all the right things, treating you right, it's not enough because he's not a Chad or Tyrone.
Silly.
This kind of dating strategy always ends up with you lot doomed. And I'd like to know what you think you are on the look scale. Like, I don't know what you think you are, but you're just very average looking in my book.
I'm gonna date you, this woman who seems pretty far out of his league, right? Woman who also treats him really well with dignity and kindness. He's gonna start thinking, you know what? Maybe I've got a lot to offer.
The question is, what do you offer any man, really? Because you don't look like you're in your prime years anymore, if we want to talk about looks. So you need to be humble.
Treat a mediocre man like a king. He actually starts believing he's a king, and he goes out there to spin the block to see if he can get even better than you. He won't. He won't. He'll find a lot out there, maybe a couple crazy gals.
This woman is bitter. She's obviously talking from her own past experience. She's been with some guy and he cheated on her or left her, and now she's coming out here talking about ugly guys and blah blah blah. Bro, you played the game and you lost, and now you want to spew out all of this rubbish on the internet.
Date the hot guy instead, seriously, because they never ever actually become assholes. They don't have those same feelings of shame and defectiveness, that insecurity like the ugly guy.
What are you talking about, you idiot?
Wow. The Chads and Tyrones are never assholes, and they don't have the same level of insecurity and defectiveness that ugly guys have. Bro, like, you cannot make this up. This is wild. If anything, Chads and Tyrones are gonna be the worst guys on the planet to women because they get women so easily and they know they can replace you easily. This woman is not serious, bro. This woman doesn't realize she's gonna get played by everyone because you're not a nice person, because like attracts like. It's the content of somebody's character which will determine how they treat you, if they're loyal to you, and if they treat you with respect.
If you're a 10, do not date the ugly man. Do not, ever. This should not have this arguing over him. He started out grateful, okay? But now he's been with you a little bit of time. He's gone into delusions, okay? So he thinks that he is a 10 also. Or worse, he thinks he is special.
Oh, because a man should never feel special, innit? Only you should feel special. A man should never feel special. I hear you.
He is going to either try and get with another 10 and find a vulnerable 10, or he is going to go with a 5 and below, which is going to make you feel like shit. No, he's not going to just embarrass you. He's going to break your soul.
This woman is talking from experience, man. It's always these women that come out who've had their heart broke by some guy that come to TikTok and start complaining, saying these guys are terrible and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you're just bitter.
And you are going to feel 10 times worse because you had the ugly guy who you took pity on mess you around. Put your hands up if you've been personally victimized by an ugly guy.
See? She's one of them.
Serves you right.
If you look at dating app data, there is a tendency for basically very attractive men, high status men, to do really well on dating apps, to get a lot of attention from a lot of women, and then for the bottom chunk of men in terms of attractiveness to get none, to just get no matches whatsoever. And this is a tendency, it's called hypergamy.
So we've got another woman who's listened to what men have said, and now she's regurgitating it and acting like it's her own thoughts, and now act like they're some kind of dating coach.
That women will tend to want to marry up socially, so they'll want to marry a man who is richer than them, better educated than them, more successful than them, etc. This is basically what you see when people are left to their own devices on dating apps, and you can monitor it carefully. That is basically what people do. And the problem you end up with is that when you don't have a system of monogamous marriage and you don't have the expectation that people wait, there's really nothing stopping those men from just having loads of girlfriends.
Yeah. The men will end up having loads of girlfriends because all of you women want those same guys. And those guys have got a plethora of options. Yes. And none of you women are special to that guy because he can replace you. I hope you lot understand this thing. You are not special to him, to Chad and Tyrone. You're not special to Chad and Tyrone. He's had you before, has you now, and he's going to have another one just like you, or maybe even better.
Basically playing the field and not being forced to commit because no one expects them to, really. And it's like good fun for those men. It's frustrating for the women because they're like having relationships with these men in the hope that it will turn into commitment, and then it never does. They end up feeling really bitter.
I like being bad.
Yeah, and what about the men that lose out completely? Like the top 80 to 90% of men that all you women don't find attractive. It must be frustrating for those guys, don't you think?
Frustrating for the less attractive men who are getting no attention whatsoever and who read me or listen to me saying the sexual revolution was good for men. And it's like, it wasn't good for me. It's like, I know. There's like an inbuilt inequality.
80% of men are deemed unattractive by women online, on Hinge, Bumble, Tinder, seeking arrangements, whatever.
It's not just online. Most women find most men unattractive in real life.
Top 10% of men on Tinder are getting 63% of the right swipes, and I believe the top 20% were getting it's like something like 78 or 80% of the right swipes. The top 20% were getting 80% of the right swipes on Tinder.
The mistake is that this is that we call this the Pareto principle or the 80-20 rule, right? So the mistake is to think this is that
20% of guys are fucking 80% of the women.
no, that's not it, dumbass. 100% of women want to get with the top 20% of guys.
Facts.
That leaves 80% of guys who are the invisible ones, who are the sandwich artists, who that they women are completely oblivious to because they are unattractive. They are not, maybe he'll do. They are, I wouldn't even recognize his existence, right?
Yeah, a lot of these guys are invisible. You need to understand that women do not even register men they don't find attractive. They don't even see them as human beings. The majority of women view unattractive men as like ants or gnats. And that's why, in my mind, I don't ever feel sympathy when these same said women become older and they become invisible. Their options dry up and people pretty much don't give them much attention, and now they start crying and complaining on TikTok. I don't ever feel no sympathy for that because the majority of men go through the same experience throughout their lives. And anyway, with that being said, make sure you hit the like button and let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. If you agree, you disagree, or tell me your own personal experiences with being attractive or being unattractive. I'm on the road to 100,000 subscribers, so make sure that you hit the like button and always support the channel. Also, make sure you go to my clothing line. Also, make sure you go to my website, www.letsgonow.shop, where you can get a sweater like the one I'm wearing, a hat like the one I'm wearing. Big up to everyone that's going over there and copying the gear. Anyway, with that being said, I'll be back again with more videos. Take care. Peace.